Hi, I'm Mary Kopczynski, the CEO of Regulator. Welcome to this week's Regulatory Roundup. This week we were just shy of 10,000 alerts, and we're definitely going to hit that milestone soon as we are beefing up our international regulators in preparation for the big debut. The regulator of the week is Illinois. Since the weekly review of regulatory alerts has gotten so huge, I'm helping the team take over monitoring state bills, which means I have state bills on my brain, and Illinois is particularly prolific. This week, they've been making progress on amending the Artificial Intelligence Video Act, including a few technical changes. They are insisting that employers who rely solely upon artificial intelligence to determine whether an applicant will even qualify for an in-person interview must gather and report certain demographic information to the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. And this bill is going to require that department to analyze the data and report to the governor and the General Assembly of Illinois whether that data discloses a racial bias in the use of artificial intelligence. The topic of the week is climate risk. For those of you not following climate risk, I just want to reiterate that there were 35 alerts in the last week alone. And yes, it was Earth Day on April 22nd. In addition to a number of speeches by federal agency leaders like Janet Yellen, the White House issued a number of alerts on its plans to become a climate change leader. One particularly interesting alert was a fact sheet on electronic vehicle charging stations and how the White House would like to expand it to create jobs. It had maps of America with dotted lines of planned EV charging stations, and it's actually kind of exciting. But if you think it's all tree hugging, think again. There are 8 states currently suing the Biden administration to prevent it from establishing a damages value to the social cost of greenhouse gases. For those of you following Cannabis Banking, I apologize because I neglected to mention an alert from last week where 20 states urged Congress to pass the Safe Banking Act of 2021, which would allow states that have legalized medical or adult use cannabis to operate safely under the national banking system. It would formally allow banks and credit unions to provide services to state licensed cannabis related businesses. The House passed it, and now we wait on the complicated Senate process. In our Find Tracker this week, the who was more interesting than the what. The SEC busted the co-founder of a number of cannabis companies, a former race car driver, and a jewelry wholesaler for the usual stuff. Unregistered offerings, misappropriation of funds, Ponzi schemes. It was actually a light week for the SEC, mostly stuff around finalizing payments from their earlier busts that I've already reported on. There were a few whistleblower awards, but otherwise pretty quiet. So that's it this week for Regulator US Alerts. See you every Wednesday morning on LinkedIn and YouTube.